Oye, Trinity Christine Mason, back here again. I'm imagining it might be a good appropriate time to attempt to tell a quick story of my journey to Peru and doing ayahuasca. So, my first time doing ayahuasca was actually with my father. My father had done ayahuasca multiple times, I want to say over 10 times. However, I'm losing track. I've actually done ayahuasca 4 times now since then. And it's been a very sacred medicine. For those of you that don't know, ayahuasca is a root and it is combined with other plant matters. I apologize, I'm not educated in making ayahuasca. I'm simply only educated from being able to speak from what I've lived through, where I've been, what I've gone through. These are words of my friend that I call Uncle Frank, also fam, Juggalo fam. And so we travel, right? We travel deep, deep, deep into the jungle, and we meet out at this igloo teepee. And the shaman is quite beautiful. I'm not going to lie, the shaman was beautiful. Long hair, and so there's just 4 of us there. My dad, me, and 2 other people who are strangers. And then there's the shaman. Later on, one of his friends comes in and assists with the acuros. The acuros are actually the songs and the music. So I'm actually using my phone at the time. I have my phone in airplane mode because there's no service out here, right? And I'm actually recording sounds, so you can actually go back on my YouTube channel and look up my sounds from ayahuasca. And you might want to just type in @Trina Mason ayahuasca, and you might be able to find some more stuff on that, okay? So the story is going to get a little dark, okay? I'm going to be honest. I'm not going to hide anything. So I'm going to do to my best ability to share every tiny detail, okay? And especially as I hear spirit, okay? So my dad is kind of laying at my feet, and I'm here. I'm next to the shaman. His friend is over there. And there's a man there, and then there's a woman directly across from me. So he serves us all the medicine. And I'm the first one to throw up. And if I remember correctly, I throw up as soon as I hear the music. The music is what made me officially sick. I tried to hold the medicine as long as I could. And when I puked, I guess you could say Mother Aya or Pachamama. Pachamama means Mother Earth. Okay? So I was given the message that everyone else couldn't get high or have their experience until after I left my offering. And my vomit, my getting well, was my offering. And I remember being very intense because I remember laying down and receiving all this different information. Mind you, I had these feelings for the shaman, basically. He was providing this healing energy for my father and for the group, really. But obviously, my bias, his servitude to my father on an energetic level. You know what I mean? Just holding space and just providing all this healing, radiant energy towards him and towards me. I felt this need to give back equally. And there's a desire to touch, and to connect. And I held back this space as much as possible. And I started to go within myself, and I had this fantasy almost of kissing the sole of his foot. And then it was kind of given to me from Pachamama or Mother Aya. Mama. I'll just call her Mama for now. It was guided by Mama. No, you are supposed to love yourself that way. Kiss the bottoms of your own feet that way. Love and honor yourself because, basically, what I see in him, I am. And so I start receiving all these information, I'm going deep within myself, thinking, God, I just want this partner, I want this love, I want this, never-ending romance, and I want, us both to be healers, and, story. And, Mama was really tough on me. Okay, I'm just gonna bluntly translate, so please excuse my French, but it was basically saying, you dumb bitch. You think that we haven't been giving you everything that you've wanted all along. All these times that you were alone is exactly what you wanted, exactly when you needed it, all the time. So every time you thought you were alone, I was holding you. How could you forget I was holding you? And then I started going in deeper. I was like, oh yeah, when I have kids, they're going to be my offerings to the planet when I'm not here anymore. And then it's like, oh, again, you dumb bitch. Do you not realize that you are an offering to the planet? You are that offering to the planet. You are your mother's offering to the planet. And I know I received some other messages, and I think I wrote them down somewhere. However, maybe those are personal and just for me. However, those are like the key principles that I really, really remember that were really significant for me. And so as they're doing the Ikuros and as things start winding down, like, shaman touches me, and as soon as he touches me, like, I go into like this deep trance and this deep intense energy, and there's like this desire to basically make love. However, at the time I'm menstruating, right? However, this does not stop the shaman from attempting to engage with me and stick their hands down my pants. And I've read a lot of things like where basically like shamans take advantage of like girls while they're in like this state of like, you know, ultimate surrender. I mean, it's basically DMT, right? So in the morning, you know, like there was no regrets, you know what I mean? Like I was grateful for the experience I had had, and it was very enlightening to say the very least. And in the morning we had a very nice session alone where me and the shaman actually went for a walk, and he kind of showed me all of the plants and kind of told me stories about how his family had been doing this for so long, and how, like, you know, this is like his job, and how he does like this work all the time, and how he felt like I was like his husband in another life. And it was very interesting, and like now things are like connecting dots and making sense in another way that I never recognized until I actually shared this story with you. So thank you so much for sharing your energy, because I believe it's you that's allowing me to access that part of my Akashic records by you contributing that energy. Thank you. So we proceed to go into like another like teepee thing, right? It's not like a teepee, it's like a dome. And this is where we like lay down together and like play with each other's hair and smoke marijuana together and just share like deep insights. And I'm called to give him a crystal. I gave him a prenite. It was one of my other halves. I wonder if I still have that other half. And for doing so, he actually gave me some crystals of his own, and also a bracelet of tiger's eye that I have kept with me that has been very sacred and part of my healing. And I always remember, like, at the time, like, I had all these feelings of love for him, and I was very disappointed that he didn't reach out to me and never contact me. And I imagine his soul feels longing too, you know, that I never went back for him. And I think part of him knew that I would have difficulties. I remember him saying to me that I would have to choose spirit world or matrix world. And in my opinion, I had chosen matrix world. And I'm just now coming back to spirit world. Which is why it's so important for me to be journaling and to be sharing these things. And while there may be some embarrassment for the fun and kundalini or energetic exchanges, it's all natural and normal. And I ask that you do not send him hateful energy, because it was 100% consensual, and I was the first to touch his leg and to send energy. And actually, that might be a false narrative, because I remember he did some hands-on healing stuff, and I think that's what made me want to touch him, is because, like, feeling his energy, I was like, oh my god, you know, because I had never been, like, accepted and touched and loved and accepted in that way. It was a very unique love, energetic expression that I just, like, could not resist. And I've always kind of been, like, a love addict and excessively into using sexual energy as a form of escape and healing, and especially repatterning, because what happens is when we go through trauma, so, like, if you've had sexual trauma, part of the only way to heal through it is by having healthy, safe sexual engagements. And that's also why I kind of got involved in the BDSM community, because I believe sincerely there is healing properties and healing ways of working with what I would define that as medicine. That is why I call myself treated medicine too, okay? However, like, if you work with me, I'm going to encourage you, like, why do you want me to hit you? Why do you want me to humiliate you? You know? What are you intending to heal? What are you running away from healing? You know? Recognize the stories that you tell yourself. It's not so much for me to hear the answer. And then my second time, the guy that I call Drago, I did it in America. And this guy, he was just kind of like, you know, belittling women, particularly his so-called partner, the woman who was like opening her home and like everything, you know. And I just didn't enjoy how he was bossing her around, and how just all the women were like fawning at his feet. I was just like, ugh, you're disgusting, you know. Like, there's a part of me that was just like totally disgusted at it, yet also was like kind of like, I'm kind of like drawn to this guy. You know, like, I definitely noticed that. And he's the one who served me rape for my first time. And I'm wondering if I was served sananga at that ceremony. I don't think so. I'm pretty sure working with Catherine was my third time having sananga, which is like a burning eye medicine. I'm gonna have to like really sit with myself and meditate, and maybe like write things down instead of simply video journaling, because the internet may not exist forever. However, it felt important to be honest with people about my own personal journey, so they know like there's these possibilities out there, and there's possibility for you to have your own experiences too. And my other ayahuasca ceremonies were here in America as well, the last two. The last one I actually managed, I don't know how this happened, but I slept the entire time. I was so deep within myself, and Aya was doing her own magic healing, and I was just holding all this infinite space. And then the time before that, I had kind of received my purpose, like how I was meant to be a hands-on healer and providing space, and just by my presence, how powerful that was. And I'm receiving that was also part of me being asleep last time. That's interesting. So it's just very enlightening, and no one else is going to be able to validate these things for you. And you'll notice that there will be people who try to invalidate your truth and beat you up and tell you that you're no good and that you're stupid. Things like that. Just know that those stories are false. Attempt to check in and notice what voice is yours and what voice is not yours, kind of guiding you. Like, perhaps you hear a voice in your head that tells you you're no good, or you can't, or you better not do that. Just sometimes you want to check in and know that it's not your own voice. Like, maybe it's like your parents' voice. Maybe your parents were really stern and controlling and telling you to go this way and this way, this way. So like, you hear that voice, or like that knock inside that's not your own voice. It's like a fear voice, like, I'm gonna get in trouble if I do this, like things like that. Try to just pay attention to that stuff. And on closing, I'll also mention my personal experience with Bufo. Bufo is another form of DMT. However, it's a natural form coming from the toad, and you smoke it. And I have never gone so deep into my Akashic records, and it was on a deep, intimate feeling level. I screamed and I cried and I mourned. And when I came back to consciousness, there was like this deep love and this deep connection to Earth, just remembering why I came here, and what my purpose was, and what I'm here to do, and why I love the Earth, and what I came here to experience, and how important it was to transcend the darker energies into light, or to shed light in those dark areas. So I would not be able to help people if I had not been through my own darkness and have my own personal turmoils. So Ho'oponopono, thank you so much for allowing me to have the opportunity to share with you what I have received in this gathering of friends. Shout out to Chandrakant. Namaste. Javaguan. Shanti Om.